Cool. Well, Eric, what are we talking about then, man?
Mario. Done. End of topic. Topic 2. Let's go. No, what are our expectations for the Super Mario Galaxy movie? And what are our desires for the next 3D Mario game?
Call upon
Yeah,
them.
Zoo, what are you thinking?
I'm excited for any Mario Brothers movie just because the first one was just a magical experience. Got to experience that with the nephew, my dad. Of course, my dad introducing me to video games. My nephew just getting to play Mario Wonder later that year. Earlier in the year, we got to see Mario all packed in a drive-in. So we were in an SUV. It was a beautiful day. It was a great experience. So it's an experience I'll remember forever. But in terms of the new movie, I guess we're going to space, which is kind of strange to me because I feel like we're skipping a lot. We're not going to Dinosaur Land. We're not going to apparently maybe they stuff it in the early movie, but we're not going to Dinosaur Land. Seemed like we're skipping the Peach's Castle arc, the Delfino Plaza arc. So I'm kind of curious how they did it. They did such a good job of kind of starting with the plumber from Brooklyn, him getting lost in the mushroom world. And I love that the first movie got that right. That's one of the things I love about the first movie. Is they actually got the lore right. People pretend like Mario was just a part of the Mushroom Kingdom natively. No, it's Alice in Wonderland. He's a stranger in a strange land. They got it right. I also love the fact that they made Bowser's evil center around the fact that he's a simp. And I think that is just perfect. Couldn't have done it better. Now, where we go from there, I assume he's still going to be simping. I assume we're taking it to space. And I don't know. I think we introduced Rosalina. We got to introduce Yoshi because we got the egg unless they're setting up for a Yoshi movie. I don't see where we don't get Yoshi. But so I'm going to say we get Yoshi, we get Rosalina, and maybe we get more of those absolutely nihilistic Lumines.
I can only hope.
Is that just part of their culture? Is like they're all like that? Is that one just different?
Yeah, the one in the cage represented all of them. They're just all that way. Like, what?
They're actually a cult. We just didn't know until now.
Yeah, oh, that's funny.
Each one just has their own way out, their personality, just in complete. One's complete anger, one's complete. It's like, oh my god, what's
it's
the hell?
out?
Yeah,
it's
kinda,
inside out.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, but just what?
Jeez. Andre, what are you thinking about the movie?
I am beyond stoked for the movie. I adored the first movie. I thought it was great. As we were just saying, it did a great job. I think kind of making sense of the lore, which the games have never really cared much to. And I do think going to space though, like going to galaxy, does feel like a kind of a big jump. Just because that space is kind of like the thing I feel like happens in the series when they're desperate for material. And I feel like we shouldn't be there yet. And I have faith in the team. I'm sure they're going to do I hope they're going to do a great job, but it still seems a little bit too soon. But it seems like they just really wanted to jump to the Rosalina story, probably because it's one of the few stories you can specifically point to in Mario lore, And I hope they handle it well. Like, I don't even know, like Mario Galaxy, like I love the games and I like the story for what it is, but also like, I don't know if I necessarily love how it adds to the lore of Mario, if I think about it as a whole. And so I'm very concerned and curious to see how they handle this. Like, is Rosalina going to be basically a demigod in this? Is she going to be over 100 years old? Like, is she related? I mean, I do think there are more interesting answers they can provide here. Like, the first movie teased that she could have a connection to Peach in some way, which, hey, maybe, that could be something. Sister, mother, who knows? But yeah, I'm overall, like, despite my hesitations, I'm stoked. I can't wait. Yeah. I adore the first movie. I think it's like the first truly great video game adaptation we had in the movie space, and I can't wait to see what they do with the sequel. Even though I have some hesitations. So,
okay, yeah, Eric, your topic. What are you thinking about it?
Oh man, I'm so ready for this movie to be done. I was ready for it at the end of the first one.
Wait, is this a good or bad thing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
no, I want to watch it. I want it to be done, and now I want to watch it. I love the
I
first
thought you were
one.
just saying you wanted the series to be over with.
Yeah.
That first movie, I'm good.
Sorry, I am not overly excited. Love the first one. It'll be interesting to see how, like you guys said, how they tie in these different characters and bringing in Yoshi, bringing in, Donkey Kong in space. Why not? you know, how do we tie all these characters together? How does Bowser escape, or do they bring in a different bad guy? You know, do they bring in the Koopalings to free their, you know, to free Bowser? You know, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they wrap all this up and bring it together. And then, if I'm guessing they're probably setting up a third movie, but you know, we'll see where it goes from there. How do you top that?
Mario Galaxy Movie 2, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what I'd love to see is I'd love to see him explore some of the more obscure Mushroom World locations. We just got an expansion of the nearby Flower Kingdom. I'd also love to see him go to distant Sarasa Land. Would be really neat. Sarasa Land's really cool. I always loved the motif that it was each kingdom based on like a fallen or an ancient civilization. Very cool. Mario Island, we could do something with Wario on Mario Land because that's going to be in the nearby Mushroom World area. But I don't know. I've always kind of wanted to map out the Mushroom Kingdom. If I ever get time, I should try to do that. Right. There's just so much to it.
Good luck. I want to see that map.
Right.
We're probably going to know where Princess Peach Showtime took place.
You're going to make it a giant real life diorama, right? So it's going to be
that would be very interesting. But yeah, Princess Peach Showtime. So it's the Sparkle Theater. I'm assuming it is somewhere in the Mushroom Kingdom, but where we plop it, I don't know.
Yeah, right. You know, and the other question is you know how they kind of tied in Mario Kart with the first movie. And, you know, we got a big Mario Kart game now. How are they going to tie something from that into it? Or, you know, you got different courses, different quote unquote lands, or
they did in the first movie.
Go to?
Well, here's the thing. I think I know exactly why we're going with the Galaxy. I know it feels like something like, man, look how much they're skipping in between. Well, they can come back to all that stuff.
Right.
Going to Galaxy, I think there is going to be a universe of movies that aren't just Mario. Like some other characters are going to get their own movies, and Galaxy opens up to all these lands and worlds existing that can spin off. Like there could be a whole Yoshi's Island kind of land, and that could spin off and be a Yoshi movie. You could have Donkey Kong maybe discover where all the Kongs originated from, and then that's the planet that they do a whole Donkey Kong movie based around. I kind of think it just kind of opens up the Mario universe of characters to have all these spin-off movies. And I think because of that, it actually might be a while before we come back to a Super Mario movie. Because I think next, obviously we know Zelda movie's next, but that's live action, so can't even talk about the same universe. And I think they're going to start going with some of the side characters. Like we saw them cross over, you know, like Mario Kart, and I absolutely think there'll be some sort of Mario Kart reference again, especially because like Rainbow Road in space, come on, like it's a thing. Well, I do think, you know, you could even we can see Waluigi and Wario get introduced in here. Have a tennis thing happen on one of the planets, something like that. You know, bring them in, and all of a sudden we're talking about, dude, are we going to get like a movie with them now? And I don't know about them being in their own movie, but maybe starring together with like Toad coming in or something like that. Like they could find a way to make that all work, and people would tune in, even if it doesn't star Mario, or Mario is just in it as a small cameo for a little bit. Obviously, a lot of people expect a Luigi's Mansion sort of spin-off movie at some point as well, possibly. So, like, there's just a lot of ways that I think going with Galaxy just kind of opens up the whole universe of Mario that maybe doesn't realistically exist on one planet. So then now it just opens them up to all these spin-offs that could happen. And yeah, Mario will probably make small appearances in each movie somewhere for some reason because it's Mario and he's involved in everything. But
Mario just flybys in the background.
Well, we all know where we're heading with this. The Nintendo expanded universe with a Smash Brothers finale.
I mean, that's what a lot of people want.
Yeah.
Until we get beyond Mario, I'm not gonna go there yet.
Right.
No,
It's still just Mario. Well, is it
I'm
just
half joking, I think.
Hold on, is it just Mario? We just had Pikmin come back again. Well, we'll get to that later. So there already is an animated. Of course, there was already, guys who don't know, there's already animated Pikmin shorts. By the way, they did huge numbers for Nintendo, like 540 million views on all the original Pikmin shorts on YouTube. That's a lot of views. That's a lot of views on Pikmin shorts. So. And I'm not talking like the traditional YouTube shorts, guys. They're like short movies, mini movies, like 12 minute little mini episodes. Anyways, guys, remember when those were on 3DS back in the day?
Yep.
It's crazy to think that so far back some of that goes. No, so I think that this opens up that possibility. As for what's gonna, besides opening up all the spin-off movies, obviously Rosalina is gonna play a big role some way, somehow. You can't have a Galaxy being the name and Rosalina's not there. It doesn't make sense.
You say that, but I'm just kidding.
That would be so. Fans would be so
That's
confused.
the twist.
She's just a
That's
painting
the
on a wall,
twist.
but she's not actually in the movie. They're setting up. That's what Galaxy 2 is for, right? They're setting it up. We got to save Rosalina. We don't actually get to her because they set up a cliffhanger for the next movie.
Pull off the Force Awakens type thing.
Yeah, Force Awakens. Yeah. Don't actually show her yet. But no, yeah, I do think that I think I'm stupidly excited for it. It does again feel weird that this is where we're going next. I thought for sure they could do something, maybe more with the Kongs and Mario's kind of the tag along and DK is more of the lead. I thought maybe, I know we've all heard about the rumors about potential spin-off DK movie at some point, which makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought maybe, okay, we do something that involves like Sunshine and we're at Delfino Island for some reason for something, but that's not the direction they're going, and that's fine. They're just going balls to the wall. So I just hope they realize that like they're burning through all the best Mario game ideas super quick. So
that's where the new Super Mario Brothers movie comes into play.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You know what?
Look
Everybody can say what they want about New Super Mario Brothers. So the one on the Wii was the first 2D Mario game in 18 years for consoles. So I was happy with it. Now I said they could only get away with this shit once, and then they turned around and did it again on the Wii U.
Yeah, I didn't mind them doing it once on Wii, once on DS, and then
only
they did it
once.
again on DS, and I'm like, wait a second, what are we doing?
Hey,
And then
everybody
we
gets
launch
one.
game. I'm like, okay, come on.
Everybody gets one, but yeah, because it was first time in 18 years. But number 2, yeah, we didn't forget that.
But yeah, so I think it's in a really good spot. I'm really excited for it. I definitely didn't expect it. And it's gonna move a lot of Amiibo and a lot of Galaxy 1 and 2 copies are gonna sell because of this movie. Kids are gonna get introduced for the first time and they're gonna want this stuff.
That's probably exactly why they introduced all the actual merch this time. The storybook, the Amiibo you mentioned, like it's good timing. They know the movie's coming. It's going to be big.
It didn't come out till closer to movie time, not game time. That's like why
can't
is
wait.
it coming out then and not because they know the movie's a bigger seller for the Amiibo than the game is, and it's what it is. They're not dumb. No one's like, it's really expensive Amiibo, but kids don't care about prices.
I almost think that the Amiibo is almost kind of like those really expensive Lego sets where it appeals more to adults at this point than it does to kids,
Yeah.
I mean, look, what are the ones that can afford? There's probably kids out there with $50 allowance weeks, but I want to know what jobs their parents have if they got allowance.
Well, not only is it replacing the not only is it selling more merchandise and it's cross promotional opportunity, but it's kind of, now that Nintendo has all their eggs in one basket on one system, it also diversifies them and kind of gives them that extra second pillar now that they don't have a handheld. And of course, they pick an industry that is traditionally recession proof. So very, very good move by Nintendo.
All right, Gamebird.
Yeah, man, I am unbelievably excited for the Mario Galaxy movie. I think it's going to be out of this world personally.
Literally. Also.
And I think that, like, here's the thing. Like I hear the sentiment of like, it seems weird to go to Galaxy. It seems kind of like that's where you end, because what's bigger than going to space? What's crazier than that? But here's the thing. I think there's a real opportunity here. We know what the first movie, which I loved. Yeah, it wasn't like the craziest story-wise, but I think it was a really nice setup just for the universe and the characters and the amount of love that movie gave to the series, all the Easter eggs and little special moments that were sprinkled from beginning to end. I think we're going to see that same thing here. I loved the teaser for this movie because it incorporated my 2 favorite Mario games. First, my favorite Mario game of all time, Super Mario World, with the music, and my favorite 3D Mario of all time, Mario Galaxy. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't think the movie is going to be about Mario running around little orbs with like the gravity. I think there's a chance to visit planets. I mean, flipping the switch, you mentioned like Dino Land and stuff. Like, that's something that we could experience in the Mario Galaxy movie, even though the movie's about Mario Galaxy. I think we're going to see different planets, different Easter eggs across the series. I don't think it's going to be exclusive to Galaxy. And I think that's really exciting. because I think going the Galaxy route opens up a lot more potential to pull from everything. And Nate, I think that was I think that was a brilliant idea, Nate, about bringing Mario Kart back for the Rainbow Road. You know, like traveling to another planet on the Rainbow Road sounds like a fun way to reincorporate Mario Kart. But I mean, dude, I'd love to see them go to a planet that's all weird, or bring in Wonder Flowers into the movie. Please. And have it where, you know, the effect makes everyone paper. You know, and it's a Paper Mario kind of Easter egg moment.
We've gone too far.
I love it.
Dial it back.
No, I'll never dial it back. But no, I'm just really excited in general. And like, when I think back on Mario Galaxy, I haven't had a chance to dive into the remasters yet. But when I think back about those games, and especially the first one, that moment of hearing the orchestrated music on a Nintendo game for the first time and how magical that felt, like, my expectations for the soundtrack in this game is like through the roof. And I think that's going to be a huge part of this, that, like, you know, there were some interesting music choices in the Mario movie, but I'm a huge fan of, like, I love all the 80s stuff. So there was tons of like 80s bangers in the movie. So for me, I love that stuff, but I get why people maybe that wouldn't resonate with them when there's so many great Nintendo tunes. I think we're going to see a lot of that in this next one. I'm just really hyped. And I hope for the third movie, we've had a Wario and Luigi mentioned. I hope they're the third movie big bad, and they got to do that kind of deal with the devil story, team up with Bowser to take down these two madmen, you know, that have teamed up. But
we got a little taste of that with Mario Power Tennis, and it was amazing. So
right.
Yeah,
Totally.
No, I think that's actually a really good point, because, like you said, the music notes in the beginning was Super Mario World, which of course is Yoshi and took place on Dinosaur Land. So maybe we do get that.
Yep.
Also,
the colored Yoshis.
The Planets theme would be a way of, at least for mass audiences, compartmentalizing that absolutely batshit map I talked about earlier. So instead of all being on one planet and trying desperately to do that, now they got the galaxy and they can put places where they want it.
Interesting. Stash Man, what are you thinking?
Okay, so for the movie, normally space is the final destination. And I agree with that, right? We've seen this in so many movies. I mean, where do you go? Where do you go from there, right? What else is out there? So I get that. However, with this being like the second animated Mario movie, I now, of course, don't think that space is the final destination, which is actually kind of exciting because I don't know where they're going to go next. You know, if they built up to it naturally, we could maybe assume that, hey, maybe they'll go to space now, right? But it's like, no, we're doing this in the second movie. So it's kind of like, okay, well, where are you going to go after that?
They go to hell in the third movie.
Yeah. I mean, I hope not.
There is
crazy.
There is one place we could go.
Where?
Subcon.
There you go. Bring back
that'd
Wart.
be cool.
Full Subcon invasion of Mushroom World by Wart and his cronies.
I would love to see that. So I think that's all really cool. Some of the speculation, first off, I'll say I don't think about the movie very much. I don't like to think about it. I don't like to look into it. I don't want to see any trailers. Like, I think I've been programmed from a young age, and Andre, we're the same age, right? 85er. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll give you an example. Playing A Link to the Past when it came out, right? And then waiting for the next console Zelda, which was, of course, not until November 98.
Felt like forever.
It was a very long wait, right? And it pays me no good to think about when we're going to get the next Zelda all the time. Imagine if that was a thought in my mind every day for 6 years. That's not effective at all. You know what I mean? Like, so I just try not to even think about this stuff that I am excited for, because I find that the less I think about it, the quicker it happens, the quicker it's here. And I actually stay busy with the present.
So you've had us on mute this whole time.
And like, I can hear you, but am I listening? But no, just because, yeah, you guys know I don't like spoilers. However, I have thought about it initially, like my initial thoughts with the title. There are a couple of things I thought of that I'll share. One is I do think Rainbow Road plays a larger role. It's going to play a role in this movie. I could see Rainbow Road actually leading to outer space, of course. The way Rainbow Road was introduced into Mario Kart World and the hype and the way it was shown in the movie obviously makes me believe they have much bigger plans for Rainbow Road. And then, as far as like the setting with Rosalina, there is something I thought about. I haven't seen anyone else talk about this. I don't even know if I should bring it up, because what if it's true? And then I spoil this, right? Like, what if it is?
Wouldn't be the first time you've called something randomly.
No. And like the fact that it hasn't been brought up makes me feel like this could be something Nintendo would do, because this actually goes in hand with another prediction that I've had, which is that I do believe we're going to get a Super Mario RPG too. I really do. But here's my thought. If you remember in Super Mario RPG, one of our favorite characters, Geno, originates as a powerful star spirit from the Star Road.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's a place that grants wishes, of course. And what do we all wish? That we'd see some more Geno, right? People have asked for him in Smash Brothers for years, right? But I'm just like, dude, Star Spirit, Star Road, Rainbow Road, Super Mario Galaxy, all of this kind of goes into the same bucket. And I'm like, if you really, really want to make fans happy and you want to, surprise and delight us, you'd put Geno in the movie. And you think about think about all the little things, all the Easter eggs they did in the movie. So many for all, especially for all the old people, all the old heads grown up with this. So many things for us to catch. If anything, you have them in there as an Easter egg, as like a Geno doll, like literally like the Geno doll somewhere in the movie. But I could literally see Geno being in the movie. So that is my kind of oddball prediction of what I'd like to see. We'll see.
Everybody at Nintendo that's watching this is like, fuck, and flips the table and then crushes up all the goddamn papers, throw it away, and there goes the script.
Right? They're like, where is he getting these leaks from?
Right?
Like, I promise I'm not. Yeah. So do we want to talk about the game?
Yeah.
What we want from a 3D Mario?
Go right to it, buddy.
All right. So this is what I really like to see. And this has become popularized, right, in film over the last 5-10 years. And I think this is a great way to also show the younger Nintendo generation where Mario came from, but in one game. And the way you can do that is with a multiverse game, right? And so you think about Mario Universe. Yes, that's logical, right? We've been to Galaxy. Maybe it's the universe now. You think about what's greater, right? Infinity, I don't know. But multiverse allows you to travel to other timelines or other games or other worlds that are from other games, like going to a modern day Super Mario 64 level or world in a new Mario game, going to a world from Mario 3. All that's allowed in the multiverse. You can do whatever you want. I mean, there's time travel involved. There's all sorts of fun things, but we've seen it in movies, and I'm like, it's really cool. Like I think it's the most recent Spider-Man movie, right? Having Toby in the movie, the original Spider-Man, for someone like me who saw it in the theater like 3 times when I was in high school, I'm like, this is so cool to see them all on screen together. Like, this is a really special moment. And imagine seeing multiple Marios on screen that are like their actual pixelated form. Like, you have the Illumination Mario, then you have like Mario 64, you got Mario Sunshine, Mario 3. You have all the different, basically Mario builds. And I think they could get very creative there. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see some form of multiverse or time traveling involved.
So Sonic Generations, but for Mario, basically.
Yeah, on a much grander scale.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm digging that as a concept, and what I like about it is it actually fits within Mario's literary nonsense and fairy tale roots too. So you could do all kinds of stuff with a multiverse. So yeah, that would fit well.
That reminds me of the Super Show that always took like inspiration from random like stories. Like there's a Robin Hood episode,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved it.
First Mario is what? Alice in Wonderland. Second one's Arabian Nights. Third one's Gulliver's Travels. Yeah, all kinds of literary nonsense and fairy tale hijinks throughout Mario. It's one of the key inspirations. So, yeah, anytime they go back to that, like given the Flower Kingdom, like it was so nice to go to a place that still is based in those roots, but is different from any other place we've been. It was such an amazing thing. And then, of course, the wonder effects literally drawn from Alice. Like,
I think one thing we have to keep in mind too, that I think a lot of us probably forgot, but you guys know I didn't. Mario does have a time machine.
That's true.
Oh no, he does.
Yeah, I mean, I have a Mario's Time Machine t-shirt. So yeah, he's definitely got a time machine, man. So all of this is already possible. He doesn't even have to build one. He's already got one.
We were wondering where Mario goes after space in the next movie. It's through time, obviously.
Yeah. It's all there, man. It's all there.
Yeah, we should visit Jewel Land while we're at it so we can have a safari with Yoshi.
Oh, jeez.
All the Super Nintendo Mario games are coming back.
Okay. All right.
They should, though. They should. I do want to see that. I've said I want to see Yoshi's Safari. Like,
well, Jewel Land's legit. That's a legit part. That's a legit part.
Yeah, let's make use of it. We got the mouse Joy-Cons. Let's get a shell for the Super Scope 6 and let's get to work on that. We got Virtual Boy. Why not?
Hopefully Mario's has a little bit more battery life than ours did.
Jeez. Okay. I need someone to talk some sense into this game stuff.
All right.
Andre, it's your turn, buddy.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's not just because we just got the remasters, but I would love to see Mario Galaxy 3. I think there's still so much potential with that concept that they have barely even fully tapped into, especially with having increased power now with a Switch 2, multiple generations since the last Mario Galaxy. I mean, there is, like, I love those games. They're some of my favorite Mario games. I think Galaxy 2 might still be my favorite Mario. But there is one thing about it where, like, once I noticed it, I couldn't unsee it. And that's, like, if you stand anywhere in these gorgeous worlds, like, nothing's ever moving. There's nothing happening in the background. Everything's static. There's no, like, no orbits or anything. I feel like that's a big area to really explore. Like, do it where there is, like, momentum to these planets. They are orbiting around each other. Maybe you can have, like, an asteroid field. Mario has to hop between different asteroids to get through it. Like, there is so much potential. You can play, ground pound the asteroids if you want to, propel them forward. They teased a little bit of that with, like, the final Bowser fight in Mario Galaxy 2, but you could do so much more. And, I'm not a game designer. Like, this is off the top of my head. I'm sure Nintendo could come up with endless ideas to really extrapolate from there. So I think, it would be Galaxy 3 only in name, not so much. I mean, more in name than anything, but I feel like it could really also act as a launching point for what essentially feels like a whole new Mario at the same time, just because there's so much more you can do with the concept. But if not that, I hope that they do explore just something entirely new otherwise for Mario, because that's what Mario's really at his best. He's either, he's often doing something entirely new that we haven't quite seen before, such as with 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and even Odyssey. Like, each of those games are doing something different. But I still think there's juice left in the tank for Galaxy that they could really do a lot more with. Now that's been nearly 20 years since the Galaxies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoo.
As far as the game's concerned, I think I'd like to build on both of those a little bit. I'd love to see a little bit of an exploration of Mario's roots. I also like the idea of utilizing space to kind of explore that a little bit further. And again, keep this in mind that I'm going to be playing Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for the first time coming up. For the first time.
So lucky.
I'm so jealous.
Enjoy
I
it.
set
That
that
is-
one
yeah.
out in the Wii era because I was a curmudgeonly 2D Mario guy. And
Wow.
at post Odyssey, I'm going to give the 3D games a chance again. And so I'm looking forward to that. But I would love to see what you're talking about with more interaction. I actually just got a book. It's a big, beautiful map out of the Sol system. And some of the stuff that's in our galaxy is absolutely incredible. For example, in Venus, there was some physicist that made the point that if you drop below the clouds, you're going to have a really bad day. Like things are going to happen to your DNA structure that you wouldn't even believe painfully before you die. But if you're above the clouds of Venus, you could literally sail the skies of Venus above that certain point in a sleeveless t-shirt.
Wow.
So, taking part in things like that, or for example, you've got the moon Ios, which is a moon on Jupiter. There's an enormous plasma torus that the planet is sucking out of that atmosphere that is one of the most radioactive things in the galaxy. And Nintendo, I'm not saying do something that would put Mario in that kind of irreparable harm. But for example, what if you had a plasma torus that impacted Mario transformations or power-ups or something like that, where, oh, Mario's a duck now, or oh, Mario's a spring quill now, or it just plays with him that way, right? If he's in the radiation area.
I would love to see a duck Mario. I am
Yeah,
all
Elephant
for
Mario.
duck Mario suggestion.
What is happening?
I only wish we still had Charles Martinet voicing Mario to hear his version of a quack.
So just as an example, yeah, utilize the galaxy for inspiration and kind of pair it with those literary nonsense themes. And I think you could have a great Galaxy 3, honestly.
There you go.
All right. Birdman.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I've actually thought about a lot. And, a lot of people over the years, at least since I feel like Breath of the Wild came out, a lot of people have wanted that big, fully open world, Mushroom Kingdom 3D Mario game. And while I do think that would be really cool, it's not necessarily what I'm hoping for in the next game. And I don't think creating that open world, go anywhere you can see is the answer to everything. What I would like to see from the next big 3D Mario is a slight return to form in what I call, even though it's maybe a little bit of a stretch, but kind of a Mario-vania type game. And I'm comparing this basically to Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, or the world design, one of the games that I think really perfected it, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and instead a more open-ended, interconnected world where it has that kind of Metroidvania structure of like, making progression, returning to places you couldn't access before, and the world expanding. Make it a little bit more modern to where you're not jumping into the levels, but actually it's opening up. Think like almost like the interconnectivity of like a Souls game, pre Elden Ring, where the whole world is interconnected, but you're accessing large areas. And I would just love to see Nintendo go all out on that. Every time a new 3D Mario comes out, I'm always hoping and praying, man, I hope we go back to that Mario Castle style or Delfino Plaza style. And it never happens. So I would love to see them revisit that. On top of that, another thing I would really love to see, and I mentioned how Super Mario World is my favorite Mario of all time. It was a time of secrets and secret levels and secret worlds and all these hidden things. Not like Bonanza where there's like hidden challenges throughout each layer, but actual like secrets for you to discover, hidden paths and doing weird things to what feels like an accident. I yearn for those stories of like on the schoolyard and be like, dude, did you know if you do this happens? Now you're full of crap. And then going home and trying it. And so I would really love to see like some of the secret worlds and maybe a secret power up or something like that. And then of course I love the idea, and it's funny. I think I did a video on the channel like way back of what I'd like to see in a new 3D Mario. And it was like probably in 2018, but I was talking about, Breath of the Wild, we got the shrines. We kind of got this in Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I love the idea of like little hidden pipes that take you underground, and they kind of throw you in those little kind of gauntlet challenges like you had to do in Mario Sunshine that really test your platforming mettle. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, ultimately, what I really, really, really want is that kind of return to form of that Mario-vania interconnected hub world that expands into bigger and more epic locations. I'd love that.
It's funny you mentioned that and how Mario World is your favorite game, because it makes so much sense, because that game even had a very light Metroidvania element with the Switch palaces, and unlocking them would allow, would fill in areas of other levels and let you access things you couldn't before. So that's an interesting idea. I'm down for it.
Yep.
That would be very cool.
By the way, I love all your guys' ideas too. Like Andre said, Mario Galaxy 2 to me is probably the best 3D Mario. So I'd love to see that. I love Stash. I love your idea of time travel. Zoo, I love your idea of blending the two. The thing that's really cool, just the last thing to touch on, is that Nintendo's done such a great job since the Switch 1 of kind of reinventing the wheel and taking risks with its series. We saw them do that with Zelda, with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. We saw them do it with Fire Emblem, with Three Houses, incorporating a little bit more of that social element and the persona. We've obviously seen them do it with Mario Kart, with the open world stuff, and Donkey Kong Bonanza with the destructible environments. Mario, they've never had an issue with that. They're always coming up with these wacky, crazy ideas. So like, I don't want to see them lose that. I would totally be down for an art style shakeup though. Like, I'd be all for it. One of my listen, Zelda's my favorite series. The only bummer when we get a sequel is that it's the same art style, because it's so fun to speculate and get that first shock of like, oh crap, the new art is gorgeous. I can't wait to see this in person. So I would totally be open to an art style shakeup. That would be a lot of fun.
Hey, here's a wild thought. Do you know what art style would fit perfectly with the literary nonsense world of Mario? Surrealist.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be cool.
I feel like Wonder kind of had a few elements of that, but they could definitely push it way farther. Yeah.
Yeah, surrealist art style. Yeah.
When I think of New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, I was so over New Super Mario Bros. Because the art just felt so uninspired and lifeless. But we had that Starry Night level, and I'm like, dude, why didn't they do more of this? Because this would have been incredible. Like,
the one level I can remember. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely. And then I think of like how like stylish Donkey Kong Returns with those really beautiful silhouette levels with the sunsets and stuff. And I'm like, man, that I don't know. There's just something so lifeless. So give more art style. I love Wonder. Even though it's a little bit similar, it had enough style and animation, and Mario was so expressive that it felt pretty fresh to me. So change it up, guys.
Yeah, I adored that all the animations Mario had. A lot of them come from Super Mario Brothers 3, which is my personal favorite. They pulled so much animation from that game. It'd be so freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone picking up that flower that Nintendo's selling?
Yeah,
I'm picking it up. I got a buddy who hates that flower with a passion. And if you think I'm a curmudgeon, like this is a guy that goes way back. His name's Sean Malmstrom. He hates that flower with a passion, and I'm gonna send him a flower.
I want to get one for every room.
Yeah, I think Michaela will hate the flower very shortly after I get it, which will make it that much more fun.
You guys, woo, you're just evil over there. So my thoughts for the movie, or it's not the movie, the game is basically, I just want something to be, I'll keep it nice and short. I just want something to be fresh. I like when Nintendo, like when Galaxy came, fresh idea. Even though I like Galaxy 2 more, completely fresh idea. Hard to be upset with how amazing that was when it first came out. Same with Odyssey, not my favorite 3D Mario. Came in with a really fresh idea. Mario 64. I really like when it's something new and fresh and unexpected. I think that's when this team's at their best, because I feel like they feel they're most creatively open is when they don't feel held back. And I feel like even with like Galaxy 3, as cool as that would be, and there's so much more they could do, it's also like, yeah, but then you're thinking in terms of Galaxy, not thinking in terms of what's this really cool idea I want to do. And maybe it just won't work because of the gravity mechanic just makes it not work, or we have to run circles around a planet. And it's like, maybe they have something else they want to do. I don't. Not all the planets are that way. Obviously, you could run on flat surfaces. To be clear, I didn't forget about how Galaxy games work. They just came back out, for crying out loud. But yeah, I want to see something new and fresh and unexpected because I think that's when they're at their best. And look, guys, it's been since 2017. If we ain't getting something new and fresh now, Jesus, does I have to wait another decade? Like that's what I'd be pumped for Galaxy 3, but I would also just be like upset because it means like, oh, so the new fresh ideas.
Well,
I might be 50.
here's the thing. They could revisit Galaxy, but have a completely brand new and innovative gameplay spin on it.
Sure. No,
Which would change it.
I am going to love it because my second favorite is Galaxy 2, and who knows if Galaxy 3 might overtake Odyssey for me. But I like when they just have something. When I say fresh and unique, I also feel like we're in a new console generation. We need something that signifies new gen. And I just
Mario
don't feel like
128, baby.
going back to like what happened with the Wii is like new gen. It's more like, oh, we ran out of ideas. We're retreading old ground again. And it's like, well, okay, we need something that doesn't feel that way. Donkey Kong Bonanza, by the way, does not feel that way. But that's Donkey Kong. That's the game that's probably going to finally bring Donkey Kong back to full relevancy. Mario's already relevant. So we need something. I don't know. I see something that feels new. It'd be kind of like if we got a new 3D Zelda game and it was a threequel, a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom. And it's like, okay, no, we need something new. It's a new gen. We need something fresh.
Yeah, my biggest concern, I feel like Galaxy could still be that just because Galaxy like lets you do almost anything. I feel like look at the random planets. Every level feels totally different.
There's a lot of random stuff, yeah.
There is. My biggest concern with next Mario is it's going to be like a 3D land, 3D world type situation where it's like just a really it's what you picture Mario to be in your head, which if you just like if you ask the AI, hey, make me a Mario game, and it makes you a 3D world, right? That's what I don't want.
That's horrifying.
Well, here's the good news on that front.
Worked on those games. I want to let you know I loved them. I appreciate them. I know it wasn't AI generated. I'm so sorry he made that comparison.
So here's the good news on that though, guys. So if you look at the sales, 2D Mario has always sold better than 3D Mario until very recently. Odyssey finally proved the viability of 3D Mario. What is it, 30 million now? Some crazy number. If you look at the sales of 2D Mario, Wonder eventually is going to be in the 20 millions. If you look at world sales lag both behind 2D Mario and 3D Mario. So I think the consensus around the Mario 3D land and world games is that as interesting as the level's design is and as cool as those games can be, it doesn't give the 3D Mario fans the sandbox appeal that they like. And it doesn't give the 2D Mario fans the precision 3D platforming that they love. So it's kind of that bridge that no one asked for. I'm not saying they're not good games because I thought they were. And
I don't like what you're saying right now.
What's that?
I don't like what you're saying right now.
Well, here's the thing. And I loved Mario 3D World, and that's what I'm going to review too. My main issue with that is going to be an issue that I have in other areas with some Mario games, and that is it's kind of the issue I had with Captain Toad, right? Whereas instead of having a world, like they took us to the Sprixie Kingdom, and the Sprixie Kingdom had a lot of potential. You've got these Fifanellas, which if anybody just wonders what the hell that is, those are female gremlins. And where gremlins break things, Sprixies are based on Fifanellas, which have a penchant for fixing things. And so what you have as far as the imagine a Sprixie Kingdom where you have Bowser that is putting those Sprixies to work in a bullet bill factory, for example. So you can have a much more mechanical world. You can explore some concepts from the Wizard of Oz, such as the Clockwork Men or the Spring Neck Men. There's all kinds of things you could explore there that were missed opportunities. Instead, I'm in a cloud kingdom, and all of a sudden I'm in an ice world that's floating in a Ninja Warrior void. You're just floating in the void around you, and there's not a sense of world or cohesion to those games that I feel like would, if they were to do that, I think you would see a lot of people gravitate more sales-wise than you're seeing. But I just feel like, sadly, it just felt like you were in Bowser's Ninja Warrior course. Why am I in an African safari level in the middle of an ice stage? That happened. In the ice world, there's like a safari level. And this is just completely disjointed. There's no world building here. And the Sprixie Kingdom just feels like it was thrown together, aside from the amusement park levels, which were awesome. More of that, please.
The big
right.
Super Nintendo World A level in the next Mario.
Just
Oh, that'd
again, I
be
don't
so
think
cool.
I don't think story is important in Mario, but give me a freaking world, man.
I'll
At
t-
least build me a world. The Mushroom
I'll-
Kingdom matters. The Sprixie Kingdom matters. Sarasa Land matters. Give it to me. Don't put me in an obstacle course Ninja Warrior void.
I'll tell you what I am really excited about for the next Mario, with having no information on what kind of game this is. I'm excited for the ending, because when I think about, because we now know that team made Donkey Kong Bonanza. For me, like, the ending of that game was so special. It was so memorable and so fun. It's definitely, for me, the top tier highlight experience of that game. The same was for Mario Odyssey. The ending of that game, spoilers for anyone who didn't play Odyssey, like throwing Cappy at Bowser and becoming Bowser at the end, was so epic. They've been, with their last 2 3D games, they've been going so big with the way they do their finales. I cannot wait, whether it's Galaxy 3, whether it's Mario 128 Reborn, whether it's Mario's Inferno when he goes to hell. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I feel like the ending's gonna be insanity, because that's the consistent pattern right now. So I can't wait to see what they do.
I'll throw another one at you, Game Bird. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that finale.
Oh yeah,
That was really good.
Yeah.
Another top tier
Fantastic.
3D platformer with just one of the most incredible ending sequences I've ever seen in a game.
Yep.
And so, yeah, and Donkey Kong Bonanza blew my mind, made me a Switch 2 believer. It made me a Switch 2 believer. Can't say anything more because people are still playing that one.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Eric apparently has this crazy idea. What's your idea?
So I'm going to borrow a little bit from Stash in his Generations. So Mario Generations, right?
Yeah.
But they do it in the way of I don't know if you guys have heard of the Netflix series Kaleidoscope, where you can have like a bunch of different episodes and you can watch them in a certain order, and it doesn't matter what any order you want, and it all makes sense. You know, having the generations, you can start at whatever generation you want and just keep going into different generations, but the whole story comes together to make sense no matter what order you play them in. I think that would be really.
That's a good idea.
If I remember correctly, doesn't like the show Kaleidoscope randomly generate the order that it plays in for each user? So like no one watches it in the same order, essentially.
Order. You can watch it in whatever order you want, but it does give you a user suggested order. I haven't actually seen the series, but I did a little bit of I knew about it, and I looked it up a little bit, and it says that it gives you a where the personalized viewing. Netflix generates a personalized random episode order for each viewer, but you can also choose to watch them in a specific chronological order, other curated order.
It'd be kind of crazy if the order you got, assuming a Mario worked that way, if it like affected the results of like what happened next. Like I don't know, like an element of one level bleeds over into the next or something. Like different enemies appear. Yeah,
that'd be wild.
Yeah, right.
They start doing like they start throwing in like the Telltale style like major choices, like story moments. Do you save Luigi or do you
does Luigi die here or not?
Oh my god!
Actually, that did remind me of one other 3D point I had real quick. Something they haven't really done much in any of the games besides the multiplayer ones, and not really even then. Actually, it ties back to one of my favorite segments of Luigi's Mansion 3. I don't want to spoil something here. If Zoo, have you played through that game already before?
I actually have played through Luigi's Mansion 3, and I'm getting ready to review it. Basically, it's going to be comparing the experience of Luigi's Mansion 3 to a standard haunted house ride. I think they're very similar.
Oh, yeah, that's a good analogy. But yeah, so the ending of that game, loved it, because it's one of the few times you see Mario and Luigi actually working together briefly.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to see a game built around that. Like, I want a narrative story-based, not all full story on, but I want to see a game where there is a story featuring Mario and Luigi working together. Kind of like Mario and Luigi games, but in an actual like 3D platforming setting. So
you know what might be instructive here, and I would encourage you guys just go check it out later in terms of the literary nonsense works. The Third Policeman, in terms of a Mario Luigi based story, definitely would have to kitty it down a little bit, but that might be an instructive work for doing a two brother story in kind of a surrealist nonsense world.
All right, let's make it happen.